Welcome back to Not So Grand Garage. Today we're out in the shop working on this 2005 Dodge 2500. We're going to be replacing the power steering gearbox, power steering pump, all the hoses and lines for that, and a few other things. So let's get into it. Just a few weeks ago, the owner of this truck brought it down with a complaint that it had some death wobble issues. So we tore into it and replaced basically everything that moves in the front end. New ball joints, new axle shaft U-joints, tie rod ends, drag link, steering stabilizer, hub assemblies, brakes, and got that sorted out for him. And wouldn't you know, 2 weeks later, the steering gearbox and pump give up the ghost and left him stuck on the side of the road. So here we are today, tearing into this. As you can see, I've already got the gearbox and pump pulled. When I pulled the pump, I noticed the support bracket that should be bolted to the block came off with the pump. So that may have been what caused this pump to start puking oil all over the place. But the gearbox was in pretty rough shape, had a lot of slop in it. The hoses had seen better days, so we're just going to go on and replace all of it. Got a Cardone new gearbox. Wasn't my choice. Typically I'd go with the redhead, but guy needed the truck back on the road and we could get this a little bit quicker. I got a new pump, new high pressure hoses, and a few other odds and ends to work out on it. So yeah, we'll dive into this a little bit. The easiest way to get down to these pumps, first up, pull this upper radiator hose up and out of the way, which gives you a little bit of access down through the top side to get to the bolts for the pump, and also go on and pull out this inner wheel arch liner, which will give you access to all the lines and everything without much in the way. Makes life a lot easier. To pull the gearbox, there's just 3 bolts right here. You've got the steering shaft that comes down through a firewall, which it is just held on with a bolt clamp type deal that clamps down on this spline shaft here. As far as the bolts for the pump, as you can see, with the factory gear in place, you might be able to see that you can access the bolts with the pulley in place through the holes. So there's 3 bolts that hold the pump on. They thread through the pump and through this bracket here, which is designed to support the pump like so. It doesn't do much good when it's not attached to the block, but we'll start cleaning up the mess of power steering fluid that's all over this thing and dripping from everything, and start getting these new parts put in. Okay, got the 3 main mounting bolts in. Sorry if the lighting sucks, but got them in, all Loctited in, torque to 145 foot-pounds. This is another issue I don't like with some of these boxes. This thing came in with no thread protection on it, and there's a couple dings in the threads. Hopefully that doesn't cause us any issues. I'm sure it will, but we'll see. I'll go on, get the lines routed to the box, and get up top and work on the power steering pump. Now, when installing these new hose assemblies, be sure to replace these little O-rings on the ends. There's going to be one up here as well. I've already taken the old one off, but you'll want to replace this here. And always lubricate the O-rings as well. So I'll slip this one on if I don't drop it. Like so. And I prefer to use a little transmission assembly gel to lubricate all these O-rings. This stuff is soluble in transmission fluid, so it won't hurt anything to get in the power steering system. Kind of hard to see, but got the new high pressure and low pressure lines attached to the box, and I got the steering shaft connected to the box. So now we're gonna go on down below and work down here. I'm leaving this line unhooked for now because I'm gonna run a bit of fresh oil through this cooler, half rear-endedly flush it out. But I went on and put a little anti-seize on the splines of the box. Got a new Moog Pitman arm I'm gonna throw on there. So yeah, I'll get that slid up in place, get that nut torqued down, and should be pretty well buttoned up down here once I get the drag link hooked back up. And then we'll just get the power steering pump mounted. got the belt put back in, got the pump torqued down. All that's left to do now is to finish up the hoses, fill the system up, and bleed everything, and see if we have power steering and power brakes again. I gotta hook this radiator hose back up and fill that system up too, but I'm gonna leave it off for now until I get this system filled up and get the front end of the truck jacked up, cycle the steering a few times, and bleed as much air out of it manually as I can. Okay, lines are all tight, reservoir's full. I got the truck up in the air right now on the nose, so we're going to cycle the wheel back and forth a few times, get as much air as we can out of the system before we start it up and see how it sounds. Yeah. Okay, we're going and check and see if that reservoir's dropped. Not really. So I'm gonna keep working the wheel a little bit, and then hook that upper radiator hose back up, get stuff out of the way, fire it up, and see how it does. Well, got it all buttoned up. Power steering's working good. Power brakes are working again. Doesn't seem to have any leaks. So I'm about to run it down the road, take it to the car wash, and pressure wash the engine bay out really well, because it's covered in power steering fluid and everything else that's leaking on this truck. So do a little walk around of it. Got the owner of the truck's got new tires on the way for it. We're gonna be reverse leveling it here soon. It's gonna be getting new 4-inch turbo back exhaust, new turbo, and some other interesting upgrades in the really near future. So we'll have it back here. We're gonna be getting all these bugs worked out. He's dubbed this truck Project Nightmare, and I can understand why. It's he got the truck pretty cheap, and the previous owner, he threw a lot of money at quality parts, but he didn't implement it very well. He didn't know what he was doing, basically. Things have been really cobbled together on the truck. Got good brand name parts thrown at it, and just literally thrown at it. So we're going to be going through this truck front to back, fixing it right, and hopefully making some power with it. So we've got a few more projects coming up. I haven't had much time to put any videos together. Been working on getting some stuff put together to get some of our other projects out of the weather before winter hits. But I've got some upgrades for the Jeep. I just picked up a new wastegate and some goodies for it, so we'll be bringing that back here real soon. Yeah, so anyways, if you would, please subscribe, and we'll see you soon.